which is why you can see me go from this to this in a matter of a couple months. So that was my biggest key, is don't Growing up, I was a super skinny, one of those really scrawny kids, big into gaming. And the gaming, don't get me wrong, the gaming was a ton of fun. I really enjoyed it, but it left me, to some extent, almost empty.
You poor thing.
Like, I didn't feel like I was accomplishing much other than doing this in this game or accomplishing this achievement in this game. It never really felt like I was doing enough. And I had a realization, kind of like a life check.
I was fat.
I'd gotten into a really bad accident around 9th grade, and it left me gaining a bunch of weight. I'd gained close to 100 pounds in a few months. Damn. Had no idea what to do. It felt like almost I didn't have a purpose at all. I was just waking up, going to school, coming home, sitting on my computer, going to sleep, rinse, repeat. That's all I ever did. Shortly after we had moved to another state, I was around a bunch of people that I didn't know for once, and I didn't know what to do, and I didn't have the ability to just walk up and talk to anybody, especially now.
Because he was fat.
And it introduced me to the gym.
Oh my God, finally!
And I've made so many mistakes along the way, but I've also learned a lot of valuable lessons, and that's the key takeaway, I guess, from this video. Is it took a lot to learn a lot, but I feel like I've learned enough now to where I'm not gonna make the same mistakes again.
Funny story, sad story.
So what did I do when I first started? It took me around 6 months to get to this point in my physique where I had lost a bunch of the excess weight. I had a good bit of muscle sitting around.
Muscle.
I was ready to start my first official cut. And then I went from this to this in, I think it was like a month or two.
There's no way.
And then I progressed from that to here in just a couple more months.
Hear me out.
It was an incredible experience, and especially for it being the first time I've ever even seen abs in my life, I was dumbfounded. And the main idea of what I did was I actually started tracking my nutrition.
Nutrition is stabilizing.
Tracking what I was eating and watching what I was doing when I was working out.
Because I am a smart businessman, huh?
So the key to doing any form of losing weight, I guess you could say, is just a calorie deficit. Now, the way to get your calories in a deficit is, say, this is your maintenance calories. This is what you need to stay the exact same weight, look the exact same. Let's say it's 2,200 calories. To be in a deficit, you need to be at 2,000, just under where you are. So what I did was I basically went in the biggest deficit I could. I wasn't starving myself or anything. I was watching my nutrition, like I said. I focused on the macros. Your macros are your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. So I would watch those really heavily, make sure I'm doing it the best I can with my proteins, because that's your main muscle builder.
Protein powder, huh?
That was my focus. So as long as I got my proteins in for the day, my calories, I was hoping they were around, let's say I used the 2,200 as an example. I wanted to be at 1,800, 1,800 was what I wanted to be at to be successful for the day. Plus I did cardio on top of that, which is basically just increasing your deficit more.
5 calories burned. Nice.
I also wanted to increase my workouts. I learned about progressive overload. If you are not doing progressive overload, trust me, give it a shot. It'll be the best thing you ever do to notice maximum gains of muscle.
They are muscle. Big difference.
Because it was like night and day for me. I still do it to this day, and I'm gonna continue doing it forever because it's needed almost to make more progress. That was really my biggest step for the beginning of my true journey, was learning how to count my nutrition and learning how to account for my training, knowing like what to do. And sleep was also another huge factor. Make sure you're getting as much sleep as you can. That helps a ton with your recovery. For the next section, I'm kind of going to talk about the workouts.
Tell me more.
Like what I was doing throughout the workouts. And this isn't, it's like, I'm not going to tell you I do lateral raises and lat pull downs and stuff like that. This is more so what style of workouts I do. So I aim for more of the aesthetic style bodybuilding. I'm not a power lifter. So you're not gonna see me do a bunch of 1-rep maxes. And that was one of my first things that I actually worked on. I didn't want to get into the habit. A lot of people online, you'll see them going for their 1-rep max and trying to get the highest weight possible, but that isn't really what you want to do. You definitely want progressive overload. You definitely want to test your strength here and there, but don't overdo it. I was going, when I had first started, I was trying to do a 1-rep max almost every single chest day, almost every single back day.
Boy, is he stupid.
Very dumb idea. Definitely save it for when you're feeling good. But my biggest thing was I wanted the biggest calorie deficit, like I mentioned, so I could increase my cut, because I truly, as weird as it is, I didn't think it was possible for me to get abs.
Ironic!
But I truly did not believe that was something I could ever attain in my life. So I wanted to prove myself wrong.
And you did.
What I did was I just went into as much of a deficit as I could. I'd go on a jog when I got home. I'd do cardio at the gym. And I do super high reps to prevent injury, to build a good foundation, and it's all decreasing my calorie count for the day. So if I was eating 1,700 calories, but I just burned 1,000 in the gym, as I'm sure you know, 3,500 calories is equivalent to a pound. I was like, okay, so I can lose this much weight this fast if I just keep going, doing this, doing that. And that really helped me in the beginning, which is why you can see me go from this to this in a matter of couple months. So that was my biggest key, is don't max out all too much, and make sure you're doing workouts that are going to assist you in hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is basically the pump. You want to build up your muscle as much as you can, kind of like inflating a balloon, pumping up a balloon until the highest point where it's just about to pop, and then you go home, take your rest, get your protein in, and then move on to the next body part the next day. The goal is to get sore every single day in your exercises. Make sure you're getting sore. And one last piece with the whole workout exercise thing, focus on form over everything.
Oh, seriously.
Like, I would literally rather, if I had to restart, be lifting 5-pound dumbbells with perfect form than I would lift 50s with terrible form. Not only does it embarrass you, it's really messing you up, and you're basically just asking for an injury. So make sure you are doing perfect form, the best of your ability. Say you're doing a curl, squeeze at the top, slowly release, and focus on the full extensions. It'll help you so much. And I promise you, if you do that, you will get so sore the next day. It's gonna be great. I promise. So the next step was not paying attention to my weakest points. The weak points for me were, without a shadow of a doubt, leg day. I still hit legs, but it was nowhere near what you're supposed to do, which is like anywhere from 1 to 2 times a week. I was doing maybe 1 to 2 times a month.
This is so embarrassing.
After I started working out legs, I had noticed the biggest difference, because your legs are your biggest muscles in your body, and you burn so many more calories from working out your legs. Plus, when I go on runs and jogs and stuff like that, I'm using my legs. Of course, you use a lot of your upper body too, but I'm using my legs. I was able to go that much farther, burning that many more calories. It was basically just this full cycle that just kept repeating itself, and I never paid it any attention. So neglecting weak points, whether they be your arms, your shoulders, anything, if you want that really nice build, if you want something to look somewhat like this, you have to make sure you're focusing on all parts. So you need to hit your shoulders, you need to hit your upper, lower chest, your core. A lot of people say don't hit core. It's completely personal preference. I recommend it though, because it might be a super small muscle. It's a muscle nonetheless, and it will add that little bit of an enhancement. Plus, it helps a lot if you have like lower back pain. Training your core is going to help you a ton with that. I had a bunch of lower back pain, so that was a huge takeaway for me. With that said, I do train core. Not all that much. I aim for once a week if I can do it. There was one point where I was doing it almost every day. That I don't recommend, but I do recommend training it at least once a week. It's not all too bad, and just better calorie burn. Just focus on form. Remember, that is the key. Focus on form at all times. Now, finally, kind of wrapping up, just extra tips, really. One of my biggest tips I'm going to give you, I don't even know how I didn't mention it already, is consistency. If you don't have consistency, you can literally have the most optimal scientific workout and nutrition for a whole month. But if you give up that following week or that next month, all of that was for nothing, because you just lost all of your progress.
That sucks.
So I would rather you be doing 3 workouts a week and just being able to do them every single week for the next 6 months than I would you doing 6 workouts a week and only be able to do it for 3 weeks. So to me, consistency, discipline is a huge one. If you're not going to be able to go to the gym when you don't want to, what's the point of even trying to go? So if anything, if you don't feel like going to the gym right now, that's exactly when you need to go. Because if you can go now when you really don't want to go, you're obviously going to go when you do want to go. So you basically just filled in the entire gap of, I do want to go, I sort of want to go, maybe, I don't want to go. So if you don't want to go, you basically just guaranteed yourself all these other steps. Nutrition, make sure you're eating healthy foods best you can. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. I eat pizza, burgers, fries occasionally. Like, I still have good tasting food when I want to.
But how?
I just make sure to limit it. I'm not gonna have a burger every meal. I try to stay on my calorie goals for the day if I can. If a pizza takes that up just a little bit, it's not the end of the world as long as I did good that week. And that's kind of how I do it. So if I do well, I treat myself to a meal. I don't believe in like full cheat days unless you're just starting out. If you're just starting out, I did do cheat days. I had like 2 a week when I first started because I was going from every meal being a cheat meal to 5 days of being healthy, 2 days of being what I used to be. And then after I got used to that, I'd move it down to 1 day of cheat days. Then finally I got to the point where I was like, okay, 1 meal is gonna be a cheat meal for the whole week. I mean, now I'm basically at a point where I can eat clean foods every day for the next 6 months and not even care, just because you get into that zone. I mean, if you can help it, eat cleaner foods. But another big thing is sodas.
Oh, I love soda.
They're pretty easy to kick out. That's the first thing I'd recommend. You'll notice huge weight loss there. I actually know someone who lost 20-30 pounds in a month, literally just from not drinking sodas. So they're a huge killer for you when it comes to losing extra weight. So if you can knock off those, you can still have diets and stuff like that. It's not the healthiest. I drink them because I don't care enough. As long as my calories and everything else are good, I'm good. So I have diets here and there. Water's obviously best of the best. But yeah, I mean, just have fun with it. That's the best tip, is to just have fun, enjoy the process, because the gym isn't something where you can do it for a month and you're gonna look like this. It just doesn't happen. So do it, have fun. Your first goal, treat it like a milestone. Don't think I have to go from here to this Greek god look in a matter of a few months. Just think, hey, I want to be able to go to the gym for 1 month straight, 3 times a week for 1 month. Great, we did that. Now 4 times a week for 1 month. Now 5 times a week for 1 month. Let's add in some healthier foods here and there. Let's experiment with new recipes here and there. Like, you want to have fun and treat it like a habit change more than just a spur of the moment, I want to get healthy. Make it something where it's sustainable and it'll last a long time. That'll be the best advice I have for you.
Fabulous.
If you do want to see anything else, I'm more than happy to share what I've learned, what I've done, what I've experienced. Just let me know. And yeah, bye.